Welcome back to another episode of The Truth in the Youth. I'm your host, Nilesh Pillay, and today I'm honoured to be joined by the one and the only, Natavia Maria. Quick round of applause. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks, Nilesh.
Not a problem. So, firstly, I'm just going to ask, what gets you out of bed every morning? What motivates you to do what you do?
Well, I would have to say what motivates me to do what I do is wanting to help people to move into their true selves, also to become more of the version of myself that I want to be, and also to be that pillar that my daughter needs me to be. Yeah, so there's three pieces to that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So you are a soul-led parenting coach and transformation guide.
Yes.
So can you please just explain to all of us what that really means and what that looks like day to day?
Sure. So it began with just individuals. So I was just helping individuals to liberate what no longer serves them so they can step more into their soul self. And then over time it's evolved into supporting and guiding parents, giving them tools and resources, also working with couples. So I've been in my partnership for 23 years and there's been a lot of transformation take place in that, as you could imagine.
Yeah.
So it's evolved. And what it's about, like if we get to the root of it, it is supporting people, holding space so they can become the version they want to become and show up as for their friends, their family, in the workplace. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So going back to where your journey commenced and what really drove you to this this pathway. So where did you really start?
Okay. So
let's go back. Take me back.
Okay, just a sec.
No worries.
I'm gonna try a different way, Neela.
It's okay, I know.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back. Right. So we'll go back to, how far are we gonna go back? We'll go back to my family life. So I grew up in a family of 5, 2 creative parents, really young when they had me. So there was free range parenting.
Yep. And this was, where was this?
So I was growing up in New Zealand and then we moved for a couple of years to Australia, then back to New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And free range parenting is pretty much you get to tap right into your intuition and trust yourself and your decisions quite early.
Okay.
Yep. So very blessed for that. Also, they were very creative. My grandfather was in textiles, fashion industry.
Yeah, wow.
So that was really inspiring for me as well because I'm very aesthetic.
Yep.
So I started doing meditation when I was 11 years old. And I started meditation, I think, looking back, because it helped to support me with all the noise in my family life. Yeah, I found it. I think I was quite sensory.
So
actually,
how did you meditate?
I was quite sensory.
How did you meditate in that kind of environment?
Yeah, so I was very blessed. My mum introduced me to a friend of hers who was right into meditation and quite bohemian. And she would put on guided meditations or otherwise would focus on a spot. So either a red light or a different coloured light, and we would just do pranayama, inhale, exhale, right? Okay. Otherwise it was guided.
Yeah.
And I found that really helpful as well for my mind, my focus, my discipline, a lot of other things. So that was really great to be introduced to that so young, really, really helpful. And then my teenage years, I spent a lot of time seeking.
Yeah.
Getting quite went down, took a few wrong turns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I tried to fit in for a period, and in that time that I tried to fit in and be normal, everything went wrong. So I went back to listening to my intuition.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I met my first mentor.
Yeah, wow.
Which was my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, a true blessing, a lady who was late 60s, early 70s, somewhere around there. And she started teaching me rebirthing.
And how did you meet her?
I met her in Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah, a family friend gave me her card, and she said, I actually remember it really clearly. She said to me, "It's your turn now." She'd been working with her. Yeah, it was amazing. And she taught me so much wonderful stuff. And I then went on to fashion. Yeah. So I went and studied at FBI Fashion College in Sydney, and then I started at the markets, and then I eventually had my own fashion boutique.
Yeah, wow.
And was manufacturing in Bali and wholesaling in Melbourne, Sydney and Queensland.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when was that? What year was that, roughly?
Oh yeah, I'm not good with years.
That's all right.
Yeah, sorry. I wouldn't be able to. You'd have to give me some time. You'd have to set me up before the podcast
worries.
for that one.
No
worries. Yeah.
So
but,
fashion?
Yeah, fashion was great. Loved it. So what was happening in fashion for me? It was because when I was young, I realized I was far more than a spiritual being from an early age, right?
Yeah.
I had this way of going into my internal world, and it was really beautiful, and it was a great way to support myself when things were feeling a bit overwhelming and noisy in the world.
Yeah.
So with fashion, I was actually getting a lot of my dreams, and what was happening in my dreams, I was hand painting them onto T-shirts and singlets. That's how it started off. I had like this studio and just singlets and T-shirts all over the floor, and I'd iron them afterwards. This is before I started manufacturing in Bali, when the orders were too much for me to be hand painting. And so a lot of that was coming from dreams. And then I had poetry books.
Okay.
I've always loved poetry, and I've written poetry from 6-7 years old.
Yeah.
So I collected all the books. And so I went back on them, and I put a lot of the poetry onto the garments that I collected from my childhood.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of connection with the spiritual that was coming through onto those as well, which was cool. Which when you're doing it in the moment, you don't realise you're just in flow, right? But when you start to reflect, you go, wow, that was happening from that, and you piece everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fashion was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great journey.
Yeah.
And then when I decided I wanted to wanted to have a child, all of a sudden fashion didn't seem to have the meaning it once had for me. It felt very superficial.
Right.
Yeah. And
in what sense?
I knew something else was coming. If we travel back, so that whole period in fashion and in my teenage years, I was always helping people.
Yeah.
So people were coming to me, people with addictions, people who, had some kind of jam going on.
Yeah.
And I had a way of, guiding them and helping them to move out of whatever was happening. So I had been doing that pretty much from teenage year through fashion. Like customers would come to my boutique or to the markets, and I was a therapist as well through that whole period. So when I had my daughter, I got the nudge to take this further.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the hard push from the universe.
Yeah.
And I started to dive into that, and that was the next phase for me of self-development and guiding and supporting others.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
This
so
is what led you to what you do today?
Yeah. As I said, it started off with through the younger years just as individuals, and then after I had Olive, it went into parents, and then it's gone into helping couples. Yeah, it's kind of just naturally evolved.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and Olive was brought up on the Cook Islands, so my husband and I intentionally wanted her to be brought up on an island of 34 kilometres that is very much intuitive driven and very free.
And what was the reason for that as opposed to Brisbane or Australia?
Yeah, so we wanted Olive to be able to be connected to all of her authenticity, all of who she is without outside influence.
Yeah.
And the islands are very much, it's all intuitive, right? So that was important to us. The other thing was my husband wanted to be around. He didn't want to, be working long hours and then just see his daughter in the evening and on weekends. He wanted to be there with her as much as he could. And in the islands, it's all about family first.
Yeah.
So whatever your job is, you bring your children. It's not frowned upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had her with us. We were doing various things over there. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something that I would like to lead on to the youth of today in Australia and Queensland.
Yeah.
But more so the youth in Western cities and Western countries. What are they missing in terms of, I guess, the things you preach and teach that aren't instilled at school or on mainstream media? So there's a lot of the outside influence you were talking about, getting your daughter away from growing up, that majority of the youth are subject to, which is affecting them. So what do you think is the majority of that you are trying to steer away from?
I think a really big one is devices.
Yep.
I think it's the education hasn't been there. It hasn't been, they haven't been taught to use it as a tool. It has been something that's been given to them, and they haven't had the education that they need around that. So I believe this is causing a lot of challenges with youth. I mean, my daughter's 15. She still doesn't have a phone.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of celebrities in the world, their kids don't have phones.
Yeah, right.
And their teenagers, a lot.
Don't have phones.
Yeah. Because they're aware of what it's doing, the mental health issues it's causing. The brain is still developing.
Yeah.
The brain's going through its biggest reconstruction at 12, 13, 14, 15 onwards. The only other period in a human's journey is at 2 years of age. So it is in these periods, these reconstruction times, it is so important that these artificial electromagnetic fields aren't exposed to our children. There is going to be some kind of action. Action creates reaction, right?
Yeah, right.
So it interferes with our natural frequency because it's an artificial frequency. Yeah. So
natural frequency, what does that mean?
So we have a natural frequency. Everything's energy, right? Okay. So science has proven this now. We are all aware of this. Majority of us. So there are artificial fields and there are natural fields. So artificial fields are our the telephone towers, the phone, the Wi-Fi,
All right. Yeah. I know what
all
you mean.
this
Yeah, yeah.
electricals. This is all artificial field. It's right.
Yeah.
And then we're a natural field.
Okay.
So what happens is artificial can interfere with natural when the development hasn't had time to unfold in its organic form, if that makes sense.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so she doesn't have a phone. She doesn't want a phone. She can see. She's actually said to me, I'm so grateful, Mum, that you haven't given me a phone.
Yeah.
She agrees with me because I can see how it's affected so many people I know.
Would you say it's social media or just the constant need to be on there?
Yeah,
there's a comfort thing almost.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it is it's connection. So we're humans. We like connection. We like the belonging feeling, right? And it gives that instant.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. It's not. They can't identify yet with the difference and the depth of that feeling. So they're taking that feeling as the feeling, which I think is causing distortion in their field. Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's one of the big pieces is definitely the phones, because it's causing that. I know there's teenagers who they don't even have conversations at school, but they will talk on their phones.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is fake connection. It's not really real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I heard a lot growing up was growing up in high school more so.
Yeah.
Was they'd be saying, "Oh, I'm talking to this person,
Right.
and they'd be texting them and they'd be dating, but then when I'd see them in person, they wouldn't say a thing to each other, and they'd be so, this would be.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
You're dating apparently, but all you do is you snap photos of each other. They take photos, right, on Snapchat.
Right.
And then they text the word out, and then that's how they communicate. But when they're together in person, they can't string a sentence together without a group of friends there or alcohol at a party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no real connection there. That's not everyone. I'm just saying that's majority.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah, so it's tricky for them to navigate, right?
Yeah.
I think another big one is all the noise. So I constantly see parents with very high anxiety.
Yeah.
They're feeling so overwhelmed, and their children have the same
Do they default
challenges.
to their phones?
Yeah. Well, just with everything in life, the anxiety, the constant contraction in the chest. I think this is a really big one for the youth of today, that they're having to deal with. A lot of people don't have large land, so they can't just go out into nature.
Yeah.
So they're stuck in buildings or small spaces.
Yeah.
Parents are filled with fear. So they project their fears onto the children, and they've got this amount of room to hang out in because of fear. So I think there's a number of reasons and a number of things we need to address in our youth today. Definitely.
Yes, definitely. So one thing I wanted to talk about, which we mentioned before, was the concept of herd mentality and the distinction between self-sourcing and outsourcing.
Right.
That you spoke about a lot. So just in your case, what would you describe herd mentality being?
So I think herd mentality it's when we're looking outside of ourselves for guidance and we're following what everyone else is doing because we want to fit in. A lot of youth will do this.
Yeah.
Because if you're the odd one out, it can get uncomfortable. Right? If you're the one who speaks up and goes, "No, guys, I'm not going to do that. This doesn't feel right to me." It's going to be bumpy, or you're going to get looked at a certain way, or perhaps judged. So I think herd mentality is a lot of teens will follow the crowd.
Yeah.
And I think this is really unhealthy because it gets them into trouble because they're just trying to work it out themselves. I feel like one of the most powerful things that we can teach our teenagers is to tap into their heart space, to trust their intuition, and to navigate from there, believing in themselves, knowing that they have the answers within. Just because John or Wilma or Sharon say this doesn't mean it's right for them. I mean, I always say to my daughter, what do you feel? It's not about mum or dad, because dad's going to have this perspective. I'm going to have this perspective. What's your perspective? You're your own person. So I feel like a lot of the time there's this pressure on youth to, and I feel like this causes a lot of mental health problems.
Yeah.
There's pressure from mum, there's pressure from dad, who are doing two different parenting styles. They've also got two different perspectives. Then there's the teachers at school, then there's their peers.
Yeah.
And they're all saying,
torn in different directions.
Yeah.
Don't know what to do.
And what we need to teach them to do, we need to empower them, and we need to let them know that there's this little voice inside you that you came to earth with. It is so powerful. It is your unique, special voice. You are so precious, so amazing. And once you start tapping into that and listening, you can fly from there.
Yeah. Amazing.
That is the gift that we as parents have a responsibility, I believe, to teach them.
Yeah,
and I feel like that is if we can't give them anything else, because we're overwhelmed as parents, or we've got our own challenges, or have unhealed trauma, and whatever is going on, that is the one thing a parent can teach their child that will really help them, because they'll keep going back to that. My answers are within. I'm going to listen to myself. I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to self-source. Even though all these people are saying this, what is right for me is in here.
Yeah.
I am a unique being, and it's in here. Yeah.
So self-sourcing and outsourcing, is that similar stuff?
So self-sourcing, I remember hearing Lucas Mack talk about this. He's a Kiwi guy in self-development as well.
Yeah. And
self-sourcing is just about us listening to our inner power.
Consciousness.
Right? Yeah. Consciousness. Outsourcing is us taking information, data from our peers, from people outside of ourselves who aren't in our body. They don't know how we feel.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the sixth sense. We've got gut feeling. How can someone tell me you're all right, or yeah, do that? But they don't know what's right for me because they're not in my body. That feels edgy. That feels uncomfortable. Well, that's the signal that it's not right for me.
Yeah.
I need to follow that. Yeah.
So another thing we talked about was, well, you asked me, and this kind of caught me off guard, I remember. Because I thought it was such a simple question, but it really made me think. And I don't think I gave you the right answer. Because you asked me, what is the mind? And I was like, oh, what is the mind? And then I was trying to think, what does this mean? Like, obviously I can say the brain and where we store information and what we think and all that.
Yeah.
And I think I tried to give you that answer in a smart way. But then you said there's 3 parts to the mind, and then you explain them in detail. So if you can, let me ask you, what is the mind?
Yes, what is the mind? So the mind is a very, very powerful tool, but if we don't understand how to use it, it's very destructive. It's what causes, I would probably say, majority of human misery, because every thought creates an emotion, and then every emotion creates a frequency and a feeling.
Yeah.
And then we live in that. Okay? So, yeah, there are 3 parts to the mind. So the 3 parts to the mind are the subconscious, the conscious, and the superconscious. So the subconscious is where all the data is stored from when we're in the mother's womb to how old I am now, how old you are now. Okay, it's all there. Nothing leaves.
Yeah.
It's stored there. Hence, when we get triggered, right?
Yeah.
We can react in ways we don't want to react from the subconscious.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the data's there. The subconscious, again, can be used in a really powerful way. If we're gathering, you're saying to me, oh, so what are you doing next Friday? Do you want to go out and have a tea or go here? So then I can check in with my subconscious, go forward in time and go, yeah, I'm available.
Yeah.
Right. But if I'm using it in a way where I've got thoughts going over and over in my head and they're from last week or last year or 5 years ago when I did something that was really bad to someone or someone did something really bad to me and I'm still like, geez, I shouldn't have done that, or why did they do that to me, or I could have done that differently, or, mulling over it.
Yeah.
It's very destructive because it's keeping our frequency very low because those are really low frequency thoughts.
Yeah.
It's also stopping us from moving forward. It actually debilitates us, right?
Yep.
And creates more of that same energy and thought pattern because you feed a thought, that's what you get more of. So the subconscious can be used in two ways. It can be used as a really powerful tool and super duper helpful, or it can literally freeze us, and we can just loop the same thoughts over and over and get stuck and find it hard to get out of bed each day, find it hard to write a letter. That's when it gets really bad. Yeah. I get people who come and see me and they're like, I'm finding it so hard just to get through the day because they're having so many thoughts. They get stuck. They can't do the to-do list because there's just thought after thought after thought and they get distracted and all sorts happens. I see this as a really big challenge for our youth as well. Yeah. Because the mind gets super active once the hormones start. And a lot of them don't understand how the mind works. Yeah. So then they start to have, some of them have an experience and they might have a negative feeling and then all of a sudden they're suicidal or they're depressed. Or can be many things. Yeah. Whereas if they understood how the mind worked, we could help them to allow that thought to move through and then channel it into their vision, their objectives, right? So that's the first piece, is the subconscious. The conscious is us here now, right? In our senses. We're here, we're present, we're very conscious. Yeah. Yeah. And then we've got the superconscious. So the superconscious is where we're creating. We're in creative mode. You get creatives who go for like 2 days and they're like, I didn't sleep for 2 days. Yeah. Because they were channeling. Yeah. So the superconscious is people literally go into the zone and they just bring the idea through. It's a really good place to be. I'm sure you've been there as well many times. Yeah, it's fun.
So going back to the person that came to you and said they can't get through the day because they've had all these things, what sorts of how did you help them with that? Like, did you say you need to work with these other parts of the mind to move forward? You need to channel this bit, or you need to instill this into your routine? How did you help them?
Yeah. So the first thing, which I'm sure you know and most people who are watching this are aware of as well now, mindfulness and meditation practices and making it an everyday thing, and having a rhythm, right? So having a rhythm where I wake up and then I do my practice. Yeah. And there's so many practices you can do, okay? And then spend half an hour doing that practice and then connecting to your heart space. Yeah. And getting to know who you are. Who am I? Who are you, Neelish? Who are you?
FBI interrogation.
Who are you? Well,
You're asking me. Yeah. Who am I?
Who are you?
I ask myself that every day. No, I don't. Who am I?
It's a big question.
I know, it is. I got to think about that.
Who are you?
In what sense? I mean,
I know you're your name is Nilesh and my name is Natavia, but who are you?
Who am I really? Who am I
and
to
my label
the world?
is, what was my label again? Remind me.
Soul-led parenting coach and transformation guide.
Yeah, so that's the label I've put on myself because it resonates the most with what I'm serving, right? But that's not who I am. I'm way more than that, and so are you.
I have to think about that. That's deep. That's a deep question.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
May I share?
Please.
So we are all part of a sacred field. This field connects us in with the cosmos, everything that is, right? And once we start to understand that and connect in with ourselves, we can live in the superconscious more and more because we're cultivating that relationship with the sacred field.
Yeah.
Okay? And the sacred field is all that is. It's this pulsating energy that we know is real because science has proven it now. I mean, Einstein told us many years ago, but he was quietened. Now it's very loud. It's all over the internet, and there's so many amazing, self-development coaches who are all over this, and also have seen miracles. I've seen so many miracles over and over again. People heal from things, from cancers, all sorts. And this is this field that we can work with and we all have access to because we're all the same.
Yeah.
But it depends if we're cultivating it and we're working with it. This is the thing. So that's the first thing is practice. Have your meditation or mindfulness practice that resonates with you. Do it for half an hour in the morning. Connect in with your heart space. Say, I am here. I am pure presence. And feel this connection with this heart space. The mind will be talking. It'll go, you got to get up. You got to get your coffee or your tea and do this. You've got to go beyond that. And it'll take a couple of weeks generally if you have a really active mind because you will need to stay present with that heart space to actually start to quieten the mind. So that would be the first things that I recommend people to do. Yeah. The other thing is throughout the day, start to witness the mind. So remember, you're not the mind. We're all living in a system, a mental, physical, emotional, energetic system, right? So what is happening is the mind is a piece of it, but the mind is not us. So once you start to witness your thoughts and you don't pull in on them, they just move through. They literally move through. Again, this needs a lot of exercise.
So what do you mean, like, pull them in?
Okay, so let's say I have a thought right now to get up and go and get a glass of water.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the thought that's come. Get up and get a glass of water. In that moment, I can move on that, okay? Or I can get in a conversation with it. When I say move on that, I mean I can get up and get a glass of water.
Yeah.
Or what I can do is I can get in a conversation and go, I can't get a glass of water now. I'm in the middle of a podcast with Nilesh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I could do that as well.
Yeah.
Or I could just let that thought move through. It's gone. Because I didn't pull in on it. And I didn't act on it. See, we'll use teenagers. We'll go back to youth. So you get a lot of youth, making decisions that they haven't thought through, that sometimes have hefty consequences. And what's happening is they're acting on impulse because they don't understand the mind. Because as soon as the hormones start running, the mind's really active. So they start hearing this voice that's really full on, and they listen to it.
Yeah.
They don't realize that the mind is literally, it is a monkey.
Yeah.
It is a monkey.
All over the place.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start letting it take control of you, and you're a servant to it, it's going to get you in all sorts of trouble. You've got to be the master to that mind.
Yeah.
Which means let the thoughts flow through, realize that you are not your thoughts.
Yeah.
And only cultivate thoughts that you really want. Only plant thoughts that you want in your garden.
Yeah.
And to do that, to be honest, is you have to really be discerning and look at who am I hanging out with?
Yeah.
Who's for my highest good? Who's got the good intentions for me? You got to start really shuffling your world around. And because it does rub off on us, the energy we are around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So going back to what what thoughts we keep and we take.
Yeah.
Before we were talking about women with children and pregnant women and how that may influence their baby.
Yeah.
In the subconscious of the child. So can you just in a bit more depth explain how that would affect the baby?
Sure. So if a mother has just found out she's pregnant and she's really not ready to be pregnant, let's say, so what's she going to feel? Fear?
Yeah.
Probably quite overwhelmed, disappointed in herself perhaps, maybe angry at her partner and herself.
Yeah.
So if she doesn't again, like the mind, what'll come first is the thought. So she'll be, oh, how could I be so silly? Why has this happened to me? Let's say those are the thoughts. Then she's going to get the emotion from that. If she doesn't let it move through, what'll happen is she will hold that, and that will then be absorbed into the baby.
Yeah.
So the baby is absorbing everything. So let's say the baby's exposed to abuse, relationship abuse through the pregnancy. The baby will come out with, generally there'll be attachment challenges.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot of fear. So the baby might cry a lot. Depends on the scenario and what the mum and dad have had play out throughout the pregnancy.
Do you think it could link to disabilities or not that severe?
I'm not going to give any yes or no answers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give any yes or no answers to that, Nilesh.
That's all right.
Yeah. I feel like we need to be really mindful if we're thinking about having children and set things up so that we can have as less stress as possible throughout pregnancy.
So how can we nurture mothers in that sense to prevent this from...
The first thing would be to help them to put things down and have more rest. So many women are in go mode in the masculine energy and carrying everything. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So men really need to step up and tell their woman to take a rest. Let me massage your feet. Let me do this for you. Let me do the chores. Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Women really need to be treated as goddesses.
Yeah.
Always, but through that period more so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amazing. So I think we're almost near the end.
Right.
So have I missed anything that we've spoken about?
Something that's really dropped for me lately is I feel like it would be fabulous if in today's world we had workshops for parents before they had children, not just these antenatal classes, but workshops to help them to understand what a big job it is to raise a child consciously.
Is that something you do?
I don't do pre-parent, but I have some parents who come and learn from me what they would if they had children, but majority of my workshop is for people who already have children. Yeah, but it is relevant. But
concept,
I feel like that is a real gap that
definitely.
Like I was thinking about before I had my daughter.
Yeah.
And there was so much I didn't know, and the sleep deprivation was massive. And I speak to so many mothers who have all these other things that they didn't realize would happen once they had children, and it's a shock to the system.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like it would be great to have more conversations and to have programs where women are educated and men.
Yeah.
This is a huge responsibility. You are taking on a soul. It's big.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to really look at it how it deserves to be looked at.
Yeah.
And children need to have that deep love connection that they're worthy of.
Yeah.
And first parents have to give it to themselves, because if they don't give it to themselves first and clear all their trauma and look at everything that is in that subconscious, it's going to come up when you have children. And it's not going to be in a pretty way. It's going to be very uncomfortable. So it's best we do it before we have children.
Yeah, definitely. So, Natavia, thank you for coming on. What would be your closing message or your main message to the youth today?
My main message to the youth today. It would have to be Thich Hat Hanh's quote, "The way out is in."
Wow.
The way out is in.
Beautiful.
Everything is within you. And the more you cultivate that beautiful, loving relationship with yourself, that's the relationship you're going to have with the world.
Beautiful. Natavia, thank you for coming on today. It's been a pleasure, and I'd like to see you on again soon.
Thanks, Neelash. It's been great doing this with you.
Thank you.